hi to everyone, Maisie. Say hi. 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 I'm Melissa Case from hattohem, and today we are taking on a big project. It's been a long time since I've done a video diary. I think the last one was in October, and it's now February. Time flies. Anyway, so last week I received a message from my friend Meredith asking if I wanted to help her with a commission she was working on. This commission is for historic Philadelphia and it involves 3 gowns, 2 of which it sounds like I'm making. This is for a special project they're working on this summer about the suffragette movement. So I'm making gowns for 2 women who are interpreting Alice Paul and Frances Harper. The Alice Paul dress is going to be pretty straightforward. It's going to be a white tea gown, 1910s I think is what we're aiming for. And I'm looking forward to that one. I've never really done the 1910s before, so this is going to be fun. The Frances Harper gown has a little bit more wiggle room. For that one, we're trying to decide between 1880s and 1890s. So it's either going to be a big bustle or it's going to be big sleeves. I'm just waiting to hear which one. I did make sketches for both of them. We'll see which one they decide to go with. First things first though, I have to make their undergarments. Now Meredith already ordered corsets, so I don't have to worry about that, thank goodness. However, I do need to make chemises for them. I'm saying chemises, but really they're going to be 18th century shifts. For the sake of laundering and keeping things okay, we're actually going with something more of a sleeve. So today's goal is to try and make the shifts. I have fabric from Meredith already, so that won't be a problem. I just need to get my patterning together. Each girl needs 2 to 3, I think, so we'll see how many I can get out of the fabric I have. Alright, let's get started. Don't judge me. I'm watching my own video to remind myself how to make a shift. I guess this is kind of why I made these videos to begin with. It was kind of to remind myself what I did. And now I'm being reminded. I guess it just goes to show that no matter where you are and how many times you've made something, it always helps if you can go back and refresh your memory. So this has me excited. I actually have the pattern pieces from my shift, which is the same size needed for one of the interpreters, so that just saved me a bit of work. So I think I only have to cut out one more size for just the front and the back, and we should be good to go. So it turns out I was able to get 4 chemises, 4 shifts out of the fabric I had. So currently I have 2 in each size, plus the gores that go on the side in 2 different lengths because the actresses are 2 different heights. And I also have the sleeves cut out, but they're over there. So what I've done is I've marked all my pattern markings on my pieces. Hopefully this will help speed up the process. We'll see. My plan is to assembly line this since I have 4 of these to make. So hopefully that will help move things along. Now because I already have a video about how to make a 18th century shift, I'm not going to walk you through every step. I'm just going to do a time lapse. But before I get started now, I want to just say that I've actually marked each piece of my shift. I almost said chemise again. I marked each piece of the shift with a different color pin. That way I know that's my puppy making all that noise. I marked each shift with a different color pin. That way I know what piece is which. So the front of the Alice Paul ones are with white pins, the back are with purple, and then the front of the Frances Harper pins are yellow and the backs are blue. So hopefully that will prevent me from accidentally sewing different sizes together or 2 front pieces together. I have my seam ripper ready just in case though. Alright, time to get started. What's wrong? Oh, are you thirsty or are you just having a temper tantrum because you don't have more food? The very first thing I did was clip the gores to the sides of each shift piece, right sides together. Assembly lining this definitely helped move things along quickly. Skipping ahead a bit, I sewed each gore to the side with a straight stitch. The seam ripper I got from Marika last year makes an appearance. Over to the ironing board, where each core gets a press, a trim, and another press to make the flat fell seam finish. Now the time lapse for this actually ended up being over 30 minutes long on its own, so I'm editing this down a bit because that just seemed excessive. 8 seams later, and it's back to the sewing machine to secure everything down. Then it's back over to the ironing board for yet another press. As I press, I'm separating the shift pieces into 2 piles, one for Alice Paul and one for Frances Harper, in order to make the next step easier. I'm clipping the front and the back of each shift together, and the colored pins are really coming in handy now. Once the side seams are sewn, they're also given the same flat fell treatment as the gores. Having all these seams finished will really make laundering these shifts easier. As you can see from the wardrobe change and the drastic change in lighting, even with assembly lining, these shifts took a bit of time. And they took a bit of thread. One dramatic lighting change later, and I'm onto the sleeves. Once again, assembly lining helps speed things along. Yes, I'm watching my own YouTube video again. Here I'm switching in my pinking rotary blade. It's so much quicker and easier than using shears. If you're interested in getting one yourself, I'll put a link in the supplies section of my description below. I got to experience the joy of sleeve hemming 8 times before I could call it a night. Little did I know, I would get an email the next day that would make things a little bit more interesting. Oh. One second. Are we good now? Are we good? Okay. So, somebody didn't like being in her crate. We good? Alright, so this just turned into a challenge. I just found out that they have an event planned for this project. And they need the 1890s dress by March 10th. Today's February 25th. I don't have the corseted measurements yet. I don't have my fabric yet. I don't have my patterns yet. So, hello. So, yeah, things just got complicated. You're getting so big. So, I ordered the fabric. I ordered the patterns. I should have the measurements by Monday. Today is Tuesday. I'll have them on Monday. So I guess all I can really do is do as much prep work ahead of time as possible. I got this right. I got this right. I got this right, Maisie. I got this. I don't know if I got this, but we're gonna find out. So right now the plan is, thank you for the kisses. So right now the plan is that I will get the shifts done. I will get the not the corsets, we ordered the corsets. I will get the, hello. And we'll see where we are then, I guess. Alright, so somebody needs to go back in her crate while I keep working. And we'll see how this goes, won't we? So, now with a much tighter deadline than expected, it's back to work on the shifts. I'm sure most people who sew garments hate setting sleeves, and I had the pleasure of setting 8 of them in one go. I actually can't complain too much. Setting sleeves in 18th century shifts is actually easier than most sleeves. They're shaped a bit oddly, so you're less likely to set them in at a weird angle or backwards. all that was left was to finish the necklines and hems. After a few more presses, something very rare happened. I properly cleaned up. I even cleaned out my serger before I rethreaded it. I really need to be this good more often. Though I'm not sure why I did this because I still had 2 more shifts to go. And then I realized I might have made the terrible mistake of not giving my husband the right scissors. Oh, hon, what scissors did I give you? So I have all 4 shifts done. One thing I did differently from my previous shift video is I finished off the necklines by machine. They turned out well enough. There's some weird puckering here and there, but they're definitely wearable. I would have just done it by hand if I had a little bit more time, but unfortunately, that's just not an option right now. But all 4 are done, and now I can move on. Evan is being absolutely wonderful, and he's actually cutting out my 1890s petticoat pattern right now. Hopefully the patterns and fabric will come in by the end of the week. I also need to make some hip padding for that one, so hopefully I'll be able to get a lot done next week. Well, not hopefully. I don't really have a choice. But I've had tighter deadlines before, so I've got this. I hope. Luckily, everything came in before I even got the measurements. That's one less thing to worry about. So, I'm apparently having one of those lovely yet overwhelming moments where everything comes in at once. Or at least across 2 days. So, I figured it'd be fun to open up all 6 of these packages on screen so you can see what we're dealing with this commission. I just think getting the fabrics and the patterns is a lot of fun, so I figured I'd share that with you. This is a lot of stuff. And I have to turn it all into 2 dresses within the next couple of weeks. Oh, that was a new development. I actually don't need to have the 1890s dress done by the 10th, which I'm very grateful for. They're gonna try and kind of rig together a costume just for the press event. So hopefully I can at least get the shirtwaist done. And after that, they'll figure it out from there. They do, however, want the petticoat. So I need to get the petticoat done by Sunday, because that's when I'm dropping it off. I have all 4 chemises here. They have been color-coded for everyone's convenience. So the Alice Paul ones are purple, and the Frances Harper ones are blue. And then once they get them, they can label them however they want. However, I'm making things easy at a glance. Okay, let's get these open. So what I have first is some patterns that I bought from Old Petticoat Shop. Okay. I bought 2 Edwardian patterns. I bought a corset cover and a petticoat. I don't know if we're going to need the corset cover, but I figured it was probably good to have just in case. The petticoat, however, will be in use soon, so hopefully I will be able to make this up soon. So package number 2 is not as exciting as far as giving a preview of what to expect where this commission goes. However, they were some necessary supplies. I hate fiber-filled envelopes. And I guess that's my fault for not opening it correctly. Anyway, I got some spiral steel boning and I got some boning tips. I got a lot of boning tips. I bought 10 dozen of these. So hopefully I'll actually be able to get through a couple projects without running out of boning tips. I can use tape, I choose not to. So this one, ooh, I will open this one last. Alright, here we are. We have a package from Truly Victorian. I can't imagine what this might be. Alright, so I have 4 patterns here. And actually, let me see. So I got 2 and 2. I have 2 for the Edwardian dress, and I have 2 for the 1890s dress. I already have a shirtwaist pattern that I'm using, but it should look nice with this skirt. And I'm planning on using this jacket, but I'm on the fence about it, so we'll see. Alright, now we get to look at the actual fabrics that are going to be involved with this. So I ordered the Alice Paul fabrics from Renaissance Fabrics. So first off, we have this nice plum colored linen, so I'm looking forward to using that. I also have a nice light blue linen that I'm planning on using with the 1890s dress, but we shall see if I need it or not. The design for the 1890s dress is still kind of in flux, so we'll see what happens. We have this nice white linen for Alice Paul's dress. Hopefully this will help keep her nice and cool in that summer sun. Okay, so now this one is from Farmhouse Fabrics. And this should be the fabric for the 1890s dress. I'm actually a little nervous about this one because I didn't have time to order swatches. So hopefully the fabric is light enough for this project. So we have a nice striped cotton and a plaid cotton. I think that'll end up looking kind of nice actually. How's the blue? I think I made a good choice. The fabric for the shirtwaist has like a nice texture to it. Oh, one last thing. So I also ordered some patterns from Lynn McMasters. Some of which I'm going to be using in this project, and some of which I am not, but I ordered anyway because it was less money to order more than 3, so I ordered more than 3. Let's see, I actually forgot how many I ordered, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So of these patterns, only one is one that we need for this commission. So I got a nice LaBelle Epoch hat pattern. Hopefully that will look very nice with this dress. I feel like the 1890s hats were just extra silly looking. Just kind of sat like right on top of the head with the wildness that kind of reminds me vaguely of an 1830s hairstyle. But I think that's kind of fun. I mean really, the weirder the hat, the more fun it is, right? So then, just for fun, I bought an Elizabethan cloth of gold hair cover thing. I figured if I dress up for the Renaissance Fair this year, which I would like to, but it depends on if I have time to make myself some garb, I figured this might make things helpful for my hair, especially if I decide to cut it, which I would very much like to. And then I also have some bonnets, because why not? So I have a Regency Soft Bonnet, because who doesn't want to feel like a Jane Austen heroine? This one's kind of cool because it has different brim types and different crown types. So got some mix and match options. So hopefully that would be something fun to offer people at some point. I have a Civil War bonnet. I'm not even a Civil War reenactor. I actually don't have much interest in the Civil War era at all. However, I like the bonnets, so that might be fun to make at some point. And then lastly, I have this early Victorian bonnet pattern that I've been eyeing for a while. And I have been eyeing it simply because it reminds me so strongly of Jane Eyre. And I would love a Jane Eyre dress. But if nothing else, bonnet. Alright, I better clean all this up and get working on that petticoat. Because we're going to be out all day tomorrow. And the day after that is Sunday. So it's going to be a busy night. But before I can make the petticoat, I need to make the hip padding. I made this using a video tutorial from Enchanted Rose Costumes, which I will link in the description below. It was very easy to make. I made some channels along the edge to give it some stability, and then I set in some grommets to allow for some ventilation. The grommet press is another purchase I'm glad I made because hammering can be loud, especially when you do this in the middle of the night like I tend to. So I'll also link that in the supply section of my description below. I cut up some cabbage to make the stuffing for the hip padding, and as you can see, it worked out pretty well. This video is getting pretty long, so I hope you'll join me next time to see how the petticoat and the shirtwaist turned out. Bye! Alright, let's get started. I guess this is kind of why I made these. Shh. I know you're not usually allowed in here, are you? There's a lot to look at. Hey, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? Hello. I know, I'm losing you. Hang on. You look so unamused. I feel like your eyes are saying, help me. Alright, off we go.